Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm coming to you completely barefaced. Well, not quite completely. I did apply my foundation just because we all know I tend to overtalk, and then I feel like I don't have the fun part of the video done, like the look, at least that's like to me. So I decided to just do the foundation portion, which is pretty much always going to be the same, off camera, and then come do like the fun look part with you while we discuss some stuff. And boy, do we have some stuff to discuss today. I will say also, I do have a new that I'm using, so I'm really hoping that it is working well. I have been trying to like research good, so this one popped up for me and I am super duper excited. Let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, I will be using it, unfortunately, a brand, I'm gonna try not to show, but unfortunately a brand that sadly is being canceled. Not sadly, like they completely deserve it, but E.L.F is on the massive chopping block right now because they recently chose to do an ad with Matt Rife, which, if you are not familiar, Matt Rife is a comic but has done a lot of very just like not correct things. I think the biggest one is he did like a comedy thing where he was making fun of people who are like beat up, like domestic violence, which is not great at all. Just very, like, when I've the very smallest amount attempted to watch his comic stuff, it's just very misogynistic. The first time I actually heard about Matt Rife is, if I can remember, I'll try to like pop it in, or I'll have like a card down below, but there is this podcast that I do listen to and Ashley Gavin is in it, but it's like, I forget what they call it. It's like the family podcast or whatever. It's like 3 people, but it's a really good podcast. I enjoy it. But Ashley Gavin is a comic, if you are not familiar. So that is how I heard about Matt Rife, was from her. And, you know, equally so, like, as a female comedian, and I do find her pretty funny, she is not as like successful as Matt Rife. Like, he has done really well and it's like not deserved, basically. But I guess that's not the point. But anyways, so E.L.F decided to do a commercial with Matt Rife, which makes 0 sense. He doesn't even wear makeup. Like, it really does not make sense. It's a really stupid thing. I feel like I don't know, and that's that part that's like frustrating me. Like, the more that I really like, because I guess I haven't fully thought about it. Like, I saw it, I've been researching stuff about it and like looking into it, but then I'm kind of just been, you know, moving on with my life. But really thinking about it, with the scope of everything that is happening like in our country, or at least the US, but obviously I'm assuming it's also impacting the rest of the world. But things are very, like, it feels at times things are wanting to step back in time. I'll say that. I don't think they will. Fingers crossed. Hope to goodness no. I don't feel like they will, but I think that people are wanting that. And I feel like a beauty brand advertising somebody, giving somebody like Matt Rife a platform, who is such a problematic person within himself, who is a misogynist, like giving him that platform in the beauty space is very weird. It's very weird. It's very, a man tells a woman how she should look, or a masculine tells a femme how they should appear. Like, granted, you know, there was also a drag queen in the commercial, hiding closet, which, like, whatever, like, as other people are saying, get your bag, girl, which, like, I completely agree. You know, she is not my problem with the commercial. My problem is him. And I really don't know what they were thinking, if I'm completely honest. People have also said that there is plenty more people in the beauty community that they could have uplifted and chosen, which I 1,000,000,000% agree. Like, it honestly makes 0 sense. And do I think this will incredibly take their brand? No, because I don't think it's going to be, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be big enough. I don't know. It would be interesting if it is talked about more like on, like, for, I would say, like, the younger people. I don't know if some of them are going to see this. It'd be great if they did. I hope that they do, but I don't know if they will. And so it almost is going to kind of be something that he just gets away with. And also, I don't think most people are going to see this, because I do think that it might just be on Instagram. And I would agree with the major part that people are talking about their anger is that they did kind of apologize, but the ad is still up. The ad is still up. So it can't be an apology and then choose to still, like, keep something up. On a random, I am trying my hardest. I either want to change how I do my brows or to kind of go browless. So for today's look, I think we're gonna try to go browless. I am just using a little bit of contour, just because I feel like I need a little something or else I feel kind of weird. But I did do a look yesterday, and I'm happy I ended up doing lighter brown brows. Like, I did the same thing I'm doing right now, but when I was done with the makeup, I was like, I still feel really weird. So I ended up doing I just like added a little bit of brown. It might even be the same shade with just a thin angled brush, and gave myself kind of a vintage brow. I can't really think of what decade, but that very like thin brow. But something I really liked is doing the lighter shade. I feel like looked good and not so outside of my comfort zone, at least for right now while I'm trying out something different. But then if I've done it with like a black pencil thin brow, for me, though I love it on other people, it just, again, as I always say with makeup, if you're not used to it, it's going to feel like stepping outside of your comfort zone. Sometimes you're going to have to take baby steps just to make sure that you still feel comfortable. Like, you want to feel comfortable. But anyways, getting back to the whole E.L.F. Matte Rife thing, I, like so many others in the space, are boycotting. So it is definitely something I want to talk about, just in case you have missed out on the loop of it. It is going to be quite challenging. Maybe I'm going to try and do my best to reach out to, like, not reach out, but like, I know there are other brands out there, especially that are more affordable, that do exist. But I would say like E.L.F. is a brand that has been doing so well for so many years. I'm trying to think of a way. I don't want to sound rude when saying I hope this tanks their business, because I don't, but I hope they actually learn their lesson. And that's a frustrating part, is I don't know if they're going to. You know, obviously with them, whoever thought this was a great idea, and again, the fact that they've kept it up, that's the part that I think is bothering a lot of us, is that, you know, are they just thinking that they're just going to continue to make money off of this, which, you know, whatever, but like, it's you're kind of drawing a line in the sand. A lot of people, I would say, especially somewhat in the beauty space, the people who are actually on Instagram watching these ads, I don't know for sure, but I would hope a decent amount, or I would assume a decent amount of them, are probably not going to be the biggest Matte Rife fans. So again, it was just a massive miss on their part. So where I wanted to kind of switch that around with is, I would absolutely love to know, what are your favorite budget-friendly beauty brands, or what are products from them that you possibly recommend? I did, because so mainly the only product that currently I'm using that I, you know, am worried I won't be able to find from another brand is their makeup remover, like their cleansing balm. It is like, so far, at least, well, until today when I was doing my research, but one of the cheapest cleansing balms that I have been able to find, that I feel like does the job really decently well. As being a pretty budgety person, I really try to keep that in mind. But so yeah, I've been using that cleansing balm for honestly years now, which is crazy to think. I went on Ulta and just kind of searched what they had for cleansing balms. Well, originally, actually, let me correct myself. I went through brands. I went to like Essence. Like, the top 3 brands that come to my mind is Essence, Profusion, and Wet n Wild. I did forget about NYX. Sorry, I'll mention why I'm mentioning them in a second. But I went to check to see, and none of those have a cleansing balm like I'm wanting. I think 2 of them had a eye makeup remover, but none of them had a cleansing balm. And then even when I was staying with NYX, when I looked on Ulta, they did not even pop up, because I know that they are sold at Ulta. I am trying one from LA Girl, because that is another brand that is pretty affordable that I have not really tried anything from. So like I said, continuing, you know, along with that, if there are products from more affordable brands that you think you would recommend, like, please let me know. I'm gonna obviously try some of them. I have tried some of the liners from Essence. I think they work really well. Unfortunately, I did recently pick up 3 of these from E.L.F, which is saddens me, because I want to buy more, because they are actually really good for their $2 currently. But because they've decided to be not great people, now I have to find a different solution once I run out. But that is absolutely okay, because I do not want to be supporting a brand that is not, that is okay with supporting Matte Rife. That's, I think, the biggest thing with that. Going along with that, why I wanted to mention NYX. I've seen it from NYX, and I think I've seen it from Profusion. I've not done like full extensive research on this, so like, I'm sure other brands have spoken out about it, but NYX and Profusion have both made, like, I would say, cheeky little kind of comedic comments brands that are also kind of to the point of budget beauty without like the misogyny, basically. I don't fully remember what it said, but it was something that I was like, okay, like, yes, like, you know, and it's funny because I think Profusion is one of the brands that most of us don't think about. Like, I feel like I barely see anything on Profusion, and actually when I try most of Profusion stuff, I do tend to like a lot of it. But again, it's a brand that I hear nothing really about, and it's so sad. And I feel like I usually have to like order online. I know Walmart, I think, sells Profusion, but E.L.F has taken over, and some of these other brands that I think are great have kind of like, they're not having their moments. So I would definitely say for Profusion, I'm happy that they're still around. Obviously, they still exist. They still are making great collections, but I want them to have their moment more. I don't know if they're like the best brand in the world, but I usually appreciate their affordability. And like I said, quite a few of their products I really do like. But let me tell you real quick, because I forgot to say, I am using the Tones of Hurt by Glam Nature Skin. Sorry, I need to clean mine. I have powder on it. I'm so sad. But this, I am like growing to love this baby so much. I would definitely say, I have not watched anybody's real video on this. I don't think. I did watch my friend James's video, but that's it, I think. Yeah, I believe that is it. But it is really pretty palette, and I'm happy that I have it in my collection. I guess we can go ahead and transition into a little bit of what I was going to talk about next, which is the sad part in reality that a lot of brands are going to be no longer shipping to the US. Indie brands are no longer going to be shipping to the US because they can't. Unfortunately, Trump, with the ridiculous tariffs, there was that temporary thing where they were able to send stuff if it was under, I think, $800, and they were able to send it without a crazy high tariff. But now that is ending, and unfortunately, the tariff is back. We don't really know how much the tariff would be, but I've heard it will be between $100 and $200, which is absolutely crazy and can be just on anything. It could just be on something that costs you, I don't know, 20 bucks from any other country that's not here, and you're gonna have to pay a $200 tax on that. Like, that's absolutely crazy. So I think just to get ahead of it, I've been seeing a ton of, did I not lock the camera? Sorry if we've been blown out. I forgot to focus my lens. That's my bad. But a lot of indie brands that are located out of the US have made the painful decision to temporarily cut off shipping to the US. I think that you'll still maybe have a little bit of time for some of them when this video goes up, if I am correct. I'm seeing a lot of them say by the 29th, but I think some of them are doing it or like earlier. I'm hoping that it does kind of do like it did before with, you know, whereas at like the last second, it'll kind of be like, we're gonna pause this again. But I don't know. I feel like every day, not every day, but like a lot of times, I guess, if I really hone in and focus, I'm just seeing a lot of craziness, just chaoticness trying to happen. And, you know, I'm not going to be surprised if it's something that he tries to do. But, I mean, we are seriously going to super struggle here in the US if that does, in fact, happen. I don't see it happening for very long. But then again, I don't know. You know, as people have said, Trump does not seem to be a person who is wanting us to be okay. It's like he's wanting to just tank everything and take us all down with him. And I mean, he's at death's door, so it's not like he really gives a crap. But, you know, it's just unfortunate. But all we can all do is try to hold on and continue to go. And I know I talked about some of this last week, so I don't need to like super rehash everything, but I do still want to keep it pretty like forward. Okay. So for our shimmers here, just to talk through real quick, and you'll probably be able to see because they do flash. Okay, no, you can see this one. I personally feel this shade right here does not show up green on me, on my lid. It's weird. This one here, which I feel looks a bit more yellowy, almost green chartreusey, I like this one a ton times more. And then this one is also really pretty. It's like a multi-colored one, but I've been finding myself using this on the outer edge and then this like in the front part of the lid just to give it that green. This one has the duochrome, which I think if I show like this, maybe you're seeing, but it really is like pinky. I think that's definitely showing up. You see that duochrome, and you know, it's fine, but I love how like green this looks, and I'm a little disappointed that it's not, but it's okay. I'm happy we have this to kind of make it better. Ooh, these shimmer shades are so pretty. You know what I feel like I really need to do though soon is look into like the Instagram sites of like new makeup releases. Not that I necessarily want to be like spending, but I feel so out of the loop. Okay, this shade is actually also really gorgeous. This could be like a good one just like all over the lid. Yeah, I feel just so out of the loop of makeup, which I guess maybe isn't like a bad thing. This is kind of what I wanted, just to kind of have a reset. So maybe it's not necessarily bad. Ooh, I mean, look at how pretty that is. Okay, that is gorgeous, girl. Yes, yes. All right, so I zoomed this out a little bit. As you can see, I went ahead and just kind of did this other side. It's not exactly the same, but I think we're working. And then I did just do my lips because, of course, it's kind of hard to talk into your lips. So I just did, this is from Notoriously Morbid. It's from one of their, you cannot even see that, but it's from one of their like mystery boxes years ago. And I love this green shade. It's like, I wish that they would make this a permanent shade because it's just such a good like shade of green. It's like, I don't know how to say it, but I feel like a lot of times like some of their other greens that they have, that's not green, they put like bluey-ness in it, which I don't love, or I don't hate. Like, I think that it has its moment, but this like perfect like rich kind of, not bright, but it has brightness in it, literally is so gorgeous. Okay, so I figured looking at my face, I'm feeling very pale, and I feel like my forehead looks ginormous, even though, you know, sometimes you just gotta own the 5 head, 4, you know, 6 head, whatever I have, and I feel like to the camera just makes it look ginormous, but you know what, whatever, we're just gonna go with it. I'm tempted to contour a little bit. I know I want to highlight. I think I'm gonna highlight with, I have been loving, I might use this, I might use something else, I don't know, but the Gourmand Girls Mermaid Magic I have been loving, especially this shade I think would look really gorgeous, but I have not quite decided. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this stack thing from out for my contour. So I figured we can go ahead, give you update on work a little bit. I feel like this might be possibly, unless it gets like juicing crazy, my last like update on work, just because I feel like I'm finding a decent like flow with work, which I'm actually like so happy. I really, not drinking coffee in the morning or having caffeine in the morning seriously is helping so much, literally so much. I feel like it's helping me just to feel more calm. Like right now I'm having my first caffeine of the day, just a little, I love to do you can get them at Walmart, but it's a little caffeine like Crystal Light kind of packet, but even that is like, I don't even think it's like a whole as much caffeine as a cup of coffee, but like even just this little bit, I'm already feeling a little like, you know, and I feel like I'm more just realizing that I think as a human, my energy level is pretty okay most of the time. And I don't necessarily always just need like gallons and gallons or even just a normal amount of caffeine. So that's the check-in with that. I would say that that has definitely been helping. Of course, I am a human, so at times I still do stress out, but I find myself much more able to like relax and just try to see the grander picture or whatever and be like, you know what, think about it and move on. Sorry, I know this is not like quite probably where everybody thought this was gonna go, but I'm hoping that if you find like you have issues that possibly I kind of have had, I hope it's helpful. It's obviously, I'm trying to be okay with it because it is a very vulnerable like thing to let people know that sometimes certain things that most people are just able to have that make them feel more human, like for me, sometimes it can really just be too much, and that I need that something to make me feel much more calm, and I appreciate feeling calmer. But let's see, I guess actual work. Yeah, no, work has been pretty chill, kind of busy at times. I do think, and I hope I am correct, that this was officially the last week of like back to school, back to college. I feel like I'm contouring my forehead to look even bigger, and yeah, nope, I don't know. Whatever, we're gonna go with it. I don't know if the the eyebrow list gang is for me completely. I know I've been seeing, what's her name? Jenna Ortega from Wednesday. She has either, I think her brows are bleached or she just doesn't have brows. And it's kind of a cool, like, in a way we have like a similar forehead. it definitely makes your forehead look more big, but it's kind of a different, like, fun look, and I kind of love it. I think my biggest reasoning as well with like trying to go without brows or kind of a different brow is, granted, I love my brows, but my brows are a part of my makeup that takes me like the longest. And then in the morning, like, as you know, if you watch my videos, I have not been giving myself as much time. Like, I kind of do like a quick look, but because I still love makeup, like, I still want to be able to play around with makeup. So I'm hoping that either by doing a simple brow, so like the other day what I did is I did that same kind of contour thing that I did today, but then I just went through with the shade that I use. This is a Danessa Myricks foundation. That's way too pale for me, and I used it to kind of just carve underneath, and it gave this kind of faux brow situation that I was able to add like a little bit more onto it, but it gave it something that I thought was like kind of interesting and unique, and I kind of did really like it. So I'm liking that, and it took me like way less time. So I think that's the more thing is, like, at times I'm not gonna have every day, but some days I do want to just have a little bit more fun with my makeup. Let's do a little highlighter. Ooh, look at, I don't know if you could see that highlighter, but I just barely dabbed in, and that is some blinging. It's like super glittery, but I love that. I'm almost wanting to do this kind of brow situation. I'm thinking very like model, like alien kind of idea. I think that we are done with the look of today's video. Again, I feel so without the brows, and I feel like my camera is making me look so pale. Did I not lock the screen? No, I did. I feel like I just look so pale. I'm hoping eventually I can get like an actual legit camera, which through hopefully with not buying as much makeup, I'll be able to have money to buy a legit camera. Fingers crossed, wish me luck. That is a goal. I hope for like maybe Christmas time. We shall see. But I'm gonna let you go. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know what y'all think. Please subscribe if you did enjoy this content and would like to be here with me, just having these chill, get ready with me moments. I hope you're having a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.